Hello, people, and welcome to the fourth episode of the Shake It Till You Make It podcast. I'd like to start this episode by just saying sorry for not doing one of these for a while. I think, as some of you guys might know, I was part of the Untold Creators competition, so you can imagine that took a lot of my bandwidth. But we are back, and we're ready to rock again. Today, I am joined by two guys who, in my personal opinion, have been flying the flag for the Romanian sound within Birmingham for as long as I've been around, to be completely honest. And they run the successful label and party called Duboka. The guys have done an amazing job of championing the sound, I would say, in the whole of the UK, and now pushing it within Europe as well. And on the label, they've had, flagship releases from some of the biggest minimal artists within Romania. One of the latest releases being from Mihai Paul, but you've also had other titan names such as Briz and Liz on there as well. So please put your hands together, and here someone would be clapping if we had an audience, but we don't, to welcome Mark, Birch and Elliott Ranking. How you doing, guys?
Hello.
Hello. Not too bad. How you guys doing?
Not too bad. Yourself?
Not too bad. A little bit tired, but we move on.
Aren't we all?
Guys, if it's okay with you, every time I start one of these podcasts,
yes.
I like to... Hi. I like to go to the beginning, to the sort of start.
Yeah.
And I think the beginning for you guys right now would be, where did you guys meet, first of all?
I'd say we're at school together, weren't we? We're at separate high schools, but then we came together during like sixth form sort of time.
Gotcha.
And there was a bit of a gap, and then
in like friendship groups, some of our friends sort of like merged. If that makes sense. Some of my friendship group and his friendship group, and then
there was a link between the two groups.
Yeah.
And then we all went to, both groups went to Ibiza.
Oh, okay. Where all the magic happens.
And then my first kind of night with Mark properly was tribal sessions with Darius Sarosian.
At Sankey's.
At Sankey's, yeah.
It was Sankey's, yeah.
Played in Bossa.
So did you meet on the dance floor? Or?
No, we met.
No, you met at school, but then you kind of got to know each other properly.
Ithaca in the beer garden outside.
Gotcha.
To be specific.
Gotcha.
But the fun memories of walking out of tribal sessions, and We know the stories. When they went past 6 a.m.
Yeah.
That was a good night then.
Yeah. Yeah, and then from then that was it. We stayed in touch then.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and then when we came back, one of us began for a night out, and then that'd be it. Then we'd both be going.
Go out together.
Yeah.
So I guess, to kind of get into the Duboka side of things. So obviously you went to school together. You kind of deepened the relationship within Ibiza.
Yeah.
How did Duboka come around? Where did the idea was born?
Thank you, brother, and yourself for taking us to Mioritmic, really.
Yeah.
In my end.
Yeah. So when we were like a very long time ago, when we were like 18.
Yeah.
We used to go out all the time to sort of like egg. Or like the main sort of tech house events and stuff, and then it over that sort of time it died off a bit. Like our enthusiasm for going out, it died off a bit. And then there was one of the artists that we like going to. I found he was playing abroad in Cluj for Mioritmic.
Shout out Cluj.
Yeah, and we never knew anything about any of that sort of scene or anything, did we? And I was like, he's playing there. I forgot who it was now, but whoever it was, might have been Crawler, I don't know. Someone on that lines,
Yeah.
So we bought tickets, went over there, and then we turned up and we were like, Christ, like this is good here. Like 24 hours around the clock, best sound system, best crowd, best vibes, 3D wall mapping, all that sort of thing. Like it doesn't stop.
Just the general cost of going to a festival as well.
Yeah.
When you've been used to going to Ibiza.
Yeah.
It was a shock. And like it was just so good.
Yeah.
It was just so good.
Music quality. You could be there at 2 a.m, 2 p.m, 10 a.m.
So this was Mioritmic.
Mioritmic, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think it was. Was it the last edition?
We did the last one, and we did one before, so we did two Mioritmics.
We did the last edition before it finished, and the one before we went twice. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Back to back.
So that was it then, and then we was like, because before when we first met Al, he was on about doing an event. What was
Tunnel Club?
Yeah, what was the artist?
Finesse.
Finn Basson. Yeah, like a progressive
at Tunnel Club.
Okay,
back
so
in the day.
quite a completely different.
Before we'd hit the Romanian scene.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I was the one that wanted to like do an event. You was the one that always wanted to do an event, if that makes sense.
Gotcha,
to begin with, yeah.
Then speaking to like WAF and the agency behind WAF and things like that at the time, they wouldn't touch another club in Digbeth.
Oh, really?
At the time, no, they're excluded to other brands, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
So at that time, it was quite
venues at the time and that kind of thing.
And then it kind of moved into the Mioritmic stage, and then we're like, we want to make this sound in Birmingham.
Let's bring this to the UK. Yeah.
What, just out of curiosity, what was that sort of introduction to Very Minimal for you? Because I remember, like, you know, I was born in Romania, but I've lived here most of my life. And I remember, you know, it kind of got to a point where, especially obviously being within the DJing scene, everyone's like, have you heard Very Minimal? Have you heard Very Minimal? And, you know, being Romanian, I was kind of a little bit ashamed because I hadn't, at the time, it wasn't something, I was more kind of introduced to the tech house realm. And then I kind of worked my way down into the sort of groovy minimal tech that the Dutch play. Yeah. And then eventually, you know, I was like, you know, people keep telling me about Very Minimal, like I need to do something. I need to find out what the genre is and what it's all about. Yeah. And I remember my first proper taste of it wasn't really until I went to my first Sunwaves. So a little bit like for you guys, Mioritmic, Sunwaves was my introduction. What was that sort of like introduction to the genre for you? Because obviously it's a little bit more stripped back, a little bit, as opposed to obviously like a heavy tech house kind of vibe. Yeah. How was that introduction for you? Because I found it incredibly interesting. Also, the fact that, you know, when you're in that environment, in that vibe with, you know, the Function One speakers and the quality of those Function One speakers, but also the culture that everyone else shares. Because I think what's difficult in Birmingham, from what I've seen, obviously you guys feel free to correct me here, is translating that culture that you get within like a Mioritmic or a Sunwaves and sort of bringing it back into Birmingham where people might not have the musical knowledge necessarily as much around the minimal side. That's quite sort of difficult. So for you guys, was you kind of like fish to water, or was it, how did that happen for you?
The crowd has a massive implement on how we felt that time in Mioritmic. Definitely.
Yeah, because you get, like you say, you go to Birmingham and it gets to 5 a.m, starts getting a bit, like, it gets a bit sort of scatty, so to speak. Then it's 6 a.m, and then if you do are out somewhere that's open, like a super late party, it can be a bit questionable. There, it's just like 7, 8, 9, 10 or whatever, and the crowd's still fresh. Everyone's having a good time. Everyone's like still, you know, you're talking to people, and everyone's still like, it's just wherever you, even if you go to bed and get there, have like a quick breakfast together for like 10 a.m. Everyone, it's still great. Like the music's great. Everything, the quality is the same, but we've found you can't. Well, not saying you can't. We haven't yet been able to replicate that sort of. But the one for it's not really there, is it?
Well, and then being able to do a 24, 48-hour party in Digbeth you're just never going to get it anyway.
No, you're not going to get a license.
So you can't get people to turn up at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like you've got to go from 10 till 5. Yeah. And that is it, really. Yeah. But you know, you can have the day. Yeah. But you can't go.
And then extend into the night.
You can't keep going. I think when we first started out, we could do from 10 till 5. Yeah. And then perhaps you could do a little after parties from 5 till midday. Yeah. And that was at a stretch, but it was hard to carry them people through that.
You're looking at max less than 100 people. Yeah. You're not seeing like a tent full.
No, I think if people knew that it was like a 48-hour party, people would pick and choose what time they come. So you'd have a rolling crowd. Yeah. Whereas when you've got 5, sorry, I've said that again. 10 till 5 and then 5 till 12. Yeah. People will go at 10 and go till 12 if they can. You know what I mean? They won't come at like 8 a.m. until 12. Do you know what I mean? It's with that rolling time schedule, you can do it, but with the short schedule that you can have, it's difficult. You've got to keep people from the start to the end. You know what I mean? It's difficult, that part of it is. Yeah. Especially in Birmingham, I would say. With the licensing and stuff. 100%. Yeah, license is a big thing.
So when did you guys go Mioritmic? What year was that?
I'm saying 2018, and then we did 2019.
It's got to be 2018, 2019. Yeah, because when we went the second time, we gave some records out, didn't we?
Yes.
So it was definitely out because we started Duboka in 2018.
Can you just put it just a little bit closer if that's okay?
Yeah, we started the label in 2018, so it must have been 2018, 2019 we went to Mioritmic.
Gotcha.
Because we handed out some records there, so we must have. Yeah.
Gotcha. And how did you settle on the name Duboka? Does it have any sort of like meaning behind it, or was it just like a ChatGPT? Please give me a name for my label that I'm going to use going forward.
So just did a Google Translate across the board of the word deep.
Gotcha.
And Duboka in Bosnian.
No way, really?
Yeah. But it's also a place in Croatia.
No way.
Yeah, it's a city in Croatia.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I always try and see what the SEO is between the label and the city.
And what rank better?
We was at number 1 if you put Duboka. We were beating TripAdvisor for Croatia.
Way.
Yeah, so hopefully someone in Croatia is like, who are these guys? Trying to find a good restaurant in Duboka, Croatia. And they're just trying to sell a vinyl.
Well, who knows? Maybe that's a shout for the future.
Yeah, Duboka in Duboka.
Yeah.
And then it was just the slash through the O.
Yeah.
Just took the brand, really,
Yeah.
So, obviously, so you've been Mioritmic, you discovered the beautiful world of Minimal. You've obviously decided it's going to be called Duboka. You want to move forward with that. So, when you guys are on a day-to-day, I guess, of the operations of the label and the party, like how do you guys sort of work together? Do you have like a division of responsibilities? Because I know it can be like all hands on deck most of the time, right? But I also find that sometimes having an understanding of like what each person does works quite well as well, especially like in the early stages of a label or a party or so on and so forth. So like, do you have a division of responsibilities, or is it just kind of like do whatever, whenever?
It's 50-50 split.
Yeah.
Mark he's hands-on with his artwork.
Yeah.
And like, I'm no good at that area of it.
Well, because you do some of the graphic design as well.
Yeah, we do all our own graphics, yeah.
Nice.
Everything's all ourselves,
yeah.
Nice.
Well, it's you.
Well, yeah, we don't.
Everything's all ourselves, yeah. I mean, yeah.
all the artworks all our doing. We never got anyone else to, have we?
No.
But in terms of like divvying out roles and responsibilities, we just sort of put out what there is to do.
Yeah.
And then we just sort of say, I'll do that, and then it just gets done. We've never once been like this needs to be done.
Yeah. You've done more.
We just put a list of what needs to be done, and it just sort of happens, doesn't it?
Gotcha. Is it? Do you use like a particular software, or is it just like a note or
shared notes app?
Shared notes, yeah.
We got a notes app. There's probably about
their best project management tools.
You can scroll for about 10 minutes, and there's like actions on there from 2017 or whatever. Yeah.
Nice.
At the bottom, yeah. So that's how we've always done it.
Notes.
But it just works. So you just have to say it works, and it's fine. Yeah.
I think the most important thing is as long as it works for you guys. I think that's the most important. It doesn't matter whether it's Asana or it's a note or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Okay, so you started the label. Basically, what would you say have been some sort of, personally for me, I think you guys are running a very successful label. You're very clear on what your sound is and what you want to promote. You're very sort of clear in the type of artist that you want to have on the label, and have kept it consistent over the years that you have. As you've been running the label, would you say have there been any turning points for you where you kind of thought, oh, that was a good move? Like I like that. Maybe a release from a certain artist, some of the artists that we talked at the beginning, or were there any moments for you where you or parties that you would have put forward and you thought, yeah, that was a good party?
Yeah, for the music side, like people talk about like the vinyl release and stuff. Yeah. But I like that. We don't discriminate on any sort of like music release or podcast. Like we'll have a podcast. Like we put a podcast out from like Liz or Jagutesco or Miai Pal or Briz, or not Briz, but yeah, we've done that.
Briz or Briz.
Yeah, come on, Briz.
And
Briz. We've done that, but we'll also I will have a guy who'll send us a mix from like his bedroom, and like we've had like a guy from like Argentina, and he's got like no social media, no social following ever. He's just sent us a thing, and it's 2 hours long. You listen to it, and it's good, and we definitely still put it out. We don't ever go, oh, well, he hasn't got this and he hasn't got that. If it's good, we always will we've put like me pull out, and then the next one will be like some guy who's just sent it us and be like, do you like my mix? And he's like, yeah, we do, and then we just post it. So that's something that like it's maybe not an obvious sort of thing, but that's something that we've always done that.
We've always pushed for it, yeah.
Like you have
the underdogs, and
the roles
it's worked. It's worked.
90 minutes minimum, and that's just the only role, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then if it's good, it's good. If it's not, then it's not as well. Like we've always done that.
So basically, everyone that wants to submit,
anyone's welcome as long as it's like fits the brand of the genre of music.
Yep.
If it's good,
And minimum 90 minutes, basically.
And that's it. Yeah. You don't have to have followers. You don't have to have a social presence. Yeah. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do that. If you send it, we listen to it, and it's good, then it gets posted for podcasts and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's really good. So it's ultimately about the music, basically.
Yeah, 100%.
Which is kind of a forgotten art form in today's day and age, unfortunately.
Like, instead of, how much social pull you're going to have when you repost our podcast, all that. We don't do that with podcasts.
Doesn't matter.
For some people will have no following, and they'll have like 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 plays on the podcast.
Yeah.
And I was looking back through them the other day, and I was thinking, no, it's done really well because it's good. Like,
good music.
It's just it's good. It's not anything else. It's nice.
Yeah.
What was, just out of curiosity, what was the, so when you decided you wanted to set up the label, like what was that process like? Like what did you have to do in the background to basically set up a label? Like I've never set one up. I kind of know the sort of back end because I've looked into potentially doing one. But for those that are listening, I guess, and maybe they're not at the stage where they started one, but they're thinking about starting one, what do you have to do in the background to set one up?
You can start it anyway.
Yeah.
Because we've started it with a social presence, but you can probably start it from the raw and just releasing tracks.
Yeah.
But we've got a social presence on the social medias at the time.
Yeah.
And then we started releasing podcasts, EPs, digital went quite, we're on 22, 21?
22 digital releases.
Digital release, 120 podcasts. Congrats. 3 vinyl releases. Yeah. So there's a lot there in the backing of that.
Yeah.
But at first it was just reposting videos.
Yeah.
And then build that social presence, and people like that, and then they get on that wavelength.
Yeah.
And then we release their tracks, at 10,000 followers or whatever. But and that was kind of our statement at that time.
Yeah.
Just releasing. Then we've just constantly getting demos, constantly getting podcasts, and we're always open to more and more and more. Yeah. Because we like listening.
I'll get into that actually in a second, because I think I do want to talk about what's the best way for people to sort of like get in touch with you guys, etc. What I did want to say actually, whilst we were talking about the social media and reposting at the beginning, I think one of the things that I might have mentioned to you, Mark, was that what I actually really like about you guys is you're not scared to repost like other people on the Duboka page.
Oh, no.
And I've seen a lot of brands that are quite scared to repost other people because they feel like it doesn't fit in within I don't even know why, to be honest, to be completely honest, because as long as it fits within your brand image, like what the music is that you're trying to offer, you're just kind of helping each other grow. And I've noticed not only are you consistent with the posting, do you both do the posting or who?
Yeah, we just post whatever.
Whenever. Split, Fair play.
Yeah.
Because I think you're saying how often?
It's always been like that.
How often do you post?
We used to post twice a day, but we noticed all the algorithms and Instagram and that, we've noticed the more you post at the moment, the less they sort of put you in a bit of a shadow ban thing. So like,
oh really?
We used to post twice a day, and we used to do like lockdown video of the day. We got to like lockdown video of the day 576 or whatever.
It's a long time.
Yeah, and we constantly every day. But then we noticed the more you posting, sometimes the less beneficial it is.
Really?
So yeah, like all this shadow banning and all that, like the pickup on all sorts of stuff like that these days.
I wonder what that is.
See descriptions.
That's actually very true.
You're not getting any money.
Descriptions are repeatable.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah.
And like any kind of thing that's in a JPEG that's the same over and over again. Yeah. So let's say you're reposting your artwork for your event.
Yeah.
If you keep reposting that, that just keeps going down to the bottom.
Yeah. And your story views will go from like 5,000 to 3.
Yeah.
It's mad.
No way.
And then 2 of them will be for me and him. Watching
it back. So the label came first, right? Just if I've understood it correctly, label came first, and then the parties came after.
No, the events came first, didn't it?
The events came first, and then the label afterwards.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we did. So like, Elliot was living in Lichfield at the time, and we just wanted to do an event. And we approached the pub opposite your apartment, next down the road from his apartment.
So you started in Lichfield?
Yeah.
No way, really?
Yeah, we had Ted Amber in Lichfield.
No way.
we roped him down. Wow. Fair play, he came and everything.
So I must have been late to the game then, because the one that I remember with Monastery, like how far in advance is that from Lichfield?
Monastery was like probably like.
So we did December the 23rd.
Okay, so I wasn't too late to the party.
It was a quick.
We did December the 23rd because it was Christmas Eve. And then we went to Suki. It was bank holiday of the May.
Yeah.
With Arapu.
We booked Arapu, yeah.
Oh, God.
We booked I forgot how we met him now. Remember Paradoxal?
It was through sending music, I'm sure it was.
Yeah,
and he did a track, Mo OK?
This guy he's from Romania, where's he from? Cluj, or I don't know.
Yeah, Stefan.
Yeah, Stefan. Yeah, his name's Stefan. His artist name's Paradoxal, and we met him like through. He sent some tracks, or I forgot how it was. But then I went to drums in. I'm going to butcher the name now. Has it?
Bushden.
Bushden. Yeah. That's quite good to me, man.
Come on.
Fair play.
I used to go, I've been to Bustini, and he'd be like, where?
That's what I've said.
Yeah, Bustini. Bushden. I'm like, okay.
Sounds like it's in Italy somewhere.
Yeah. And I met him there, and then he was, I forgot, he's a young lad, he's probably like 18, 19, and we were like, we're going to do our first party, and we're going to book Arapu, and we'll fly you out to the UK. And he was like, all right, okay.
All right,
And then we did.
Yeah.
We flew him over, didn't we?
It's in Astay City.
Yeah, and we put him, he supported Arapu. And he must have only been 19 or whatever. We like took him out for food and everything, bought all his drinks, and we gave him like a 2-hour slot before Arapu, and it was sold out for a Suki 10, wasn't it?
So, we got to the event, and I think there's 50 tickets sold. Yeah. Suki Premier at the time. Suki at the time probably held about 120. I reckon.
You sold 50 in advance of
50 in advance, yeah. So bank holiday Sunday.
Yeah.
So we're there like, okay, right, there's budgets we've got to meet now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? With ticket sales and
stuff. Especially when you're booking a raffle.
So, and then the day. So people were it was queuing outside Suki 10C. God, I really don't know to this day why.
Yeah.
What happened?
Really?
And we were turning people away.
People are arguing.
And then it was 1 in, 1 out.
The bouncer went down the queue and was like, right, from here down there, there's no chance.
Yeah.
And Dave came out and he was like, have you seen outside? I thought, all right, Dave, give it a chance. People will turn up. I was like, give it time. He's like, no, look outside. I looked down and there was at least 100 people queuing down the side of Suki 10.
No way.
Could not believe it. And we've never been able to replicate ever again.
No.
It was just one of those things.
Do you reckon that was just a pull from a rapper? Or?
Well, I don't know. But it was great, yeah.
Fair. With the parties then, when you started setting them up, were there any sort of like, and this is a question for both the label and the parties as well, were there any sort of like unforeseen challenges that I'm sure there was loads, but if you had to pick a couple, what were some of like sort of biggest things that you maybe didn't expect that you'd have to do, or you do differently the second time around?
We learn every time.
Yeah.
You learn every event.
Yeah.
Every event.
Yeah.
We had some sticking points, and we just had to deal with them. And you do in that situation.
I think we learned maybe total expense of lineup does not equal more tickets.
Yes, I've learned that.
Down to a T.
I've learned that lesson too.
I think like obviously we wanted to get bigger and book more and more, and which is like great, obviously, like all that. But then if you look at the numbers, you go 150 people for like $1,000, then it doesn't correlate. You don't spend 10 grand and get 3,000 people. You don't spend 15 grand and get it doesn't. You need to give the customer something where they feel part of the brand.
Yes,
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Rather than go, oh, look what we've, because like look at who we've booked, because as much people do care, they also like don't care at the same time.
No, it's true. It's true.
It's all about the experience in there and them feeling part of whatever it is you're selling.
The community that they're building, yeah.
But yeah.
What's it, honestly, I think, I can't even remember whether it was, might have been the Josh Greg podcast. I can't remember, but I said the same thing basically. Yeah. Like, I've only had experience of running like 2 or 3 parties. I haven't done much. But the one thing I've realized is that, like you said, the higher ticket DJs that you're going to get don't necessarily mean that they're going to bring in more people. It's just about how do you build a community around your brand where people feel included.
Yeah.
So how do you guys try and go about doing that?
That is a good question. I'd say we like to try and be consistent. We like to,
bring the mic up, it's okay. If you need it up, we can, there you go.
I'll do that, because...
Just be careful not to, there you
Is that right?
Yeah, just squeeze it hard, because otherwise it's going to...
There?
Yeah? Sitting? Good.
Yeah.
There we go.
So. I'd just say that we try to be consistent. Also, trying to be like fair with ticket pricing. And people sometimes we've had like quite intense comments saying, "Oh, how much" or whatever. Yeah. But it's like two lads.
Part of the game, I think. Like 2
lads have tried to do, like, we did that one party at Tea Works and we put 2 gazebos up and we had like wax material doing that, and she was great. She just came and did it and all that sort of stuff. But also, it's like the expense of setting up your own sound system and like driving, having Dragos to come and do the video mapping. That was something that we was consistent with the whole time. So we tried to just, like we talked about the elements that we enjoyed in Mioritmic, sound system, video mapping, DJ quality. We always tried to keep that consistent, but that was something we always tried to do. But then that correlates on the ticket pricing, and then people don't want to pay like 26 quid when they go out, do they?
Yeah, here in Birmingham, I would say. Definitely.
And that is, even though we literally get the total cost, put like £2 on top, and then divide it by how many people we think is going to come. That's what we do. On a basic level, but you got to think.
Because what's that number? What's that number that you make?
Yeah, of course.
What you have to kind of just go. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, okay, let's base it off 500 people.
Yeah, and that's what we do. Yeah, you got to use a guesstimate.
Are you going to get 500 people?
Yeah,
exactly. So do you go bring it right down to 200 so you cover all your bases?
Yeah.
But then end up doing well or whatever. That has probably been one of the hardest things, like doing the tickets
and to maintain that consistency of your product. Like you can't pay a visual DJ X amount to come and do a product and pay him fairly and also have all the best or whatever, and also have the ticket prices low and also pay a venue. You can't do it all. It's like trying to mediate that whole thing. And then on the music side, it's like sort of what we were saying earlier, just giving everyone a chance. The side we've been pushing Bunny that does Cold Water Studios to do the mastering on the vinyls. So every time we've done a vinyl, we've asked the artist, can we have our own mastering engineer do it? And if they want to use someone specific, that's fine. But on the next one we're doing, he said, yeah, we can. So we're bringing someone local in, which is obviously Bunny, Cold Water Studios. He's a great engineer. So we're going to bring him in and try and bring as many local people, friends, localised as we can, because it's good to, instead of just outsourcing out to the big guys all the time, like, get him to do it or invite him down or whatever. I think it's just better like that, isn't it?
I agree 100%. I think the difficult part is, and I think, this is always like a never ending conversation. I think the difficult part is between it's a business at the end of the day. So it's making money to make sure that the business keeps going. Because I don't know what your experience has been, and I don't know if you want to get into it too much, but I know from my experience that we lost a lot of money on the first 3 parties, I
don't know if I want to talk about it, to be honest. I don't know.
You know what I mean? I'm still struggling to understand the economics of parties, if I'm honest. I don't know if you just get to a level where, you have so many people coming to the party that it pays for the cost of the party, but I have not heard many parties making a profit, or if they're probably just about breaking even. I don't know. Maybe I'm not in the loop on that side. But
I think that's a fairly accurate assessment. Yeah.
I think it's a great networking platform, great promotion platform. And I think it helps, like, from an artist perspective, it helps, from a label perspective. When we did Midnight Grooving, you bring artists that you may not necessarily have access to come down and you can have a conversation. And, if you had the tracks, maybe hand the tracks or whatever.
Yeah.
But from a profit perspective, I don't know.
I think you have to have some sort of handle on the bar.
Yes, I agree. And I think in other countries but the UK, I think it's more of a practiced culture where, you have like 10-20% kickback or whatever it might be. Yeah. But mostly from what I've seen, and again, I might be wrong here, but within the UK, it tends to be the split of like, they tend to keep the bar most of the time. There will be exceptions.
Yeah. That's accurate.
Which makes it quite difficult. Like you said, if we go back to pricing of the tickets, it makes it quite difficult to price the tickets accordingly to be able to actually run the party properly. Yeah. My question then becomes, when are venue owners going to work with the promoters to actually make this work properly? Well, that's a different...
Yeah, because it almost feels like they'd prefer it to sit empty on a Saturday night than to work on a 10%, 15% kickback where at least you're going to break even, at least I've had people in the door.
And I can keep doing this every month or every other month or whatever, once a quarter, as opposed to like just keep running myself into the ground.
Because the promoter, their event could end up getting twice as big.
Yeah.
And if you've worked with them, then they're going to stick with you and grow bigger and bigger.
Exactly, yeah.
Or it's just going to potentially just sit empty on a Saturday night, and then that's the sort of the same experience we've had.
Yeah.
Like you'll have the discussion, and there's just no obviously not all everyone we've worked with, but like the general consensus is
Yeah.
And that's what we found difficult, and where you almost just feel disheartened to even continue with doing anything, because you're like, oh well that's 500, that's 400, that's 200, that's 600, and then once you've paid everything and you work it out, you're gonna, most of the time you're like probably in minus whatever, innit?
Yeah.
And you're trying to put a party on, and then you want it to at least over like a certain set of time. You want to see it progress,
get to a level, for sure.
It's just the amount of things that are up against you to try and at least carry on. It's there's a lot there, yeah. Especially
with like, let's put it into perspective as well. Like the amount of work that goes into actually running these parties for you, like you guys organising it, like. Ain't no one paying you, like
no.
We're talking. I know you do it for the love of the music, but like if we were to really look at it as an actual business where you had to take a salary out for your time that's invested into graphic design, promotion, setting up gazebos, management, operations, like everything else in between, like we're talking a completely different level of cost. So again, I still don't really understand even at a higher level how these parties work. But again, that's Anyway, on the label side, how does it work on the label side? Is it the same as the parties, or are labels theoretically profitable? Because I'm imagining when you go and print on vinyl, I don't know much of the process behind it, but this can't be cheap.
Again,
it's not cheap. No.
It's not cheap.
Exactly.
No.
So
it's
our first two pressings. We kind of pressed it personally and had them shipped, and then we had them distributed to all the major record stores.
Yeah. So how do you go about doing something like this? By the way, honestly, in this department, I have no idea. If I was to say I want to print something on vinyl, how does it work? You find a distributor for the vinyl? Like, how does that work?
I guess it depends what avenue you take, really. So you can do a P&D.
What's a P&D?
Press and distribution.
Yeah. So where the company will press it for you, and then we'll distribute it as well.
Gotcha.
So you're at their cost, and you're not the middle person kind of thing. You're just promoting it.
Gotcha.
And you've got to have some kind of backing. Like I said, I think they don't just. A P&D is quite hard probably to get into, but if you were just paying up front for a pressing, anybody could go and do that.
Gotcha.
Do you know what I mean? As long as you've got the records mastered,
you
have 3 test presses come over, or 5. You listen to all 5, then press the rest. Obviously, you've got to have the graphics involved.
Sure.
And the sleeves and stuff, the music.
Mastering.
Yeah,
on top of everything.
The vinyl mastering's usually more expensive as well.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Didn't know that. How come? Do you know?
Probably just because it can be, I don't know. I don't know why. I think it might be the equipment news. I've no idea mastering all that. No idea. Someone would know the answer.
Fair.
But like Elliott's saying, like, so at the moment we're doing sort of more P&D stuff, which is like we propose an EP to the distributor.
To be fair, actually, this is probably one of my favourite records that you guys have released.
Thank you.
I know it's your latest one, but it's also one of my favourite ones. Yeah. So if you haven't got it, do get it.
Only 29 copies there.
Yeah, probably less now.
Serious. Yeah. And so like we propose a track to them. And then they listen to it, and then they decide, right, do we want to press this at our cost? So basically they take all the risk, and then they'd pay the label a fee out of the per sale, where before, like Elliott said, we upfront the lot, then it gets pressed and distributed by like a third party, and then we'd take X amount out of it, and then they take a little fee for doing it. So obviously, but the only thing is, that's only came about recently, because then when you start building a bit of history of releases on vinyl, if that makes sense, because when you propose it, you say, oh, this is what we've done before, then they look at that, and then we found
you got a bit of credibility.
Now it's more accommodating, but before it was just no. And then
I think it's like with anything though. I think like once you build a bit of credibility, people are more likely to want to work with you ultimately.
So that's the latest one is coming out, and then the next one that we're doing is coming out.
Nice. So I take it in terms of like, if we combine sort of like the digital and the vinyl as well, is there a difference like financially there, or is it still the same as parties? You're just kind of investing for the love of it.
So to be fair, recently with because we've been a lot more digital focused, haven't we?
Yeah.
We've noticed that there's been a steady increase of more sales on like our Bandcamp and that, and then since we've moved on to Labelworks, which is like how would you describe Labelworks? Like an online distributor.
Yeah, so digital distributor that you apply for online. Labelworks is we put a post up to say which was kind of like what everybody got on with, what distributors they worked best with. and Labelworks come up a lot.
Yeah.
So we applied for the Labelworks distribution license, or that, I think that's what they'd call it, an application.
Yeah.
And then you once you've had that application accepted, you can then upload your tracks onto Labelworks,
Gotcha.
and then that gets distributed to all the big digital
platforms,
platforms,
Spotify, Amazon, Beatport, Meta.
It's massive. Labelworks is probably the perfect way because there's no fee.
Really?
There's no fee. Obviously, they'll take a bigger cut probably from the final sale of the track, but streams, sales, it goes across. It goes Napster, places like that. The place you wouldn't think of that.
Anyway,
these records,
yeah.
Instagram, they go straight through. They go straight. Yeah, Meta, they go straight through.
Everything's on there.
Instagram is in like the Instagram music library.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So all that releases on there.
Yeah, and then so like once we joined Labelworks, we got an archive of digital history at that point, so we were able to upload everything, put all them. Backtrack all them release dates.
Gotcha.
And then we're all in order then.
That's really good, to be fair.
Very, very good. Found it quite user-friendly as well.
What were some of the other options that you were potentially looking at, and why did you end up going with Labelworks?
To be honest, I can't remember what other options there were.
It was free.
Yeah, that would be a big thing.
I mean, after the discussion we just had,
you've got Bandcamp, so we put on
Bandcamp's good on.
And we do Labelworks separately.
Yeah. What's Bandcamp like? Does it have a lot of traction in terms of releasing on there? Like, we
get a lot of sales to Bandcamp,
yeah. It's quite good because Bandcamp's theoretically, like, correct me if I'm wrong here, but it's like being independent essentially.
There's no middleman, is there?
Yeah.
So it's just literally like they pay, you get paid direct for it.
And now Bandcamp, I think Bandcamp Friday is coming back as well, where they give you a nice
discount when you buy.
And I think the seller. Well, not the seller, but the label gets a better cut as well.
Yeah.
Because Bandcamp, don't take me wrong, that PayPal take a cut.
Yeah.
And then Bandcamp take a cut. So when you put that track up for £2, you probably see £1.15.
Gotcha. But so how much do you see from like Beatport, for example?
That's incorporated into the Labelworks remittance thing. So like they give you like a monthly roundup, don't they?
Yeah.
And then you'll get a payment from that, but that you'll have your Beatport, you'll have your streams, and it's just like a one figure. So all the outlets that they put it on, you just get
0.025 pence.
Yeah, it's probably less than that for a stream.
I can imagine.
1,000 streams you'll probably get. I don't know, maybe £1.
Yeah. I mean, you can tell I haven't released anything yet, which is why I'm asking a lot of these questions, because I've not hit those walls yet.
Yeah.
But is it, I think someone was, I can't remember who I was talking to the other week, and they was basically saying that Spotify is now changing the rules that if you're releasing tracks, for example, if you don't have top 5 over a certain amount of streams, you're not able to monetize any of them, apparently.
I don't know that.
Or something like that. Apparently they're moving in that direction to basically make it harder to pay out. Because if you have a track that, let's say 100,000 streams, I can't remember what it was. But if you have one that has over 100,000, 4 that have over 100,000 streams, but the one hasn't in your top 5,
they won't pay
apparently they won't pay you. I don't know how true this is. By the way, fact check it. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what I've heard.
It wouldn't surprise me though.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me either.
No.
If people want to get your attention, right? What do you look for when people come to release on your label? What is it you look for? I know you said obviously in terms of the podcast, as long as the music is good, it doesn't matter in terms of social media following, etc., etc., etc. But in terms of people that want to release on the Duboka label, is there anything in particular that you look at? Or is it just the sound, the quality of the music? Does the social following play any sort of element into when they're releasing on the label?
Initially, I'd say just and it might sound bad, but psychologically for me, it's mainly the format of how the email's sent.
Yeah. If it's just a link.
And and then the subject says, mix listen now, winky face, which you do get. You just see
really?
I know it might sound bad, but like, I imagine if you were going to send a mix somewhere, don't correct me if you're wrong, but you'd be like, hello guys, blah blah. I'm like, based here, blah blah blah. This is my link. This is the sort of sound to play. If it's just then it's like then you want to click it, but sometimes you just get someone that says, tracks here, listen now, release when, can you do it now?
I guess it's kind of like if it's been sent to 100 emails.
That's another one.
And then you get onto the tracks. I know Again, no, it's true. But we don't want to sound bad.
No, it's
but
true.
if you've gone
to can you see if they sent it to 100 people? Like, can you not just BCC?
No, but when
it's
BCC, because but SoundCloud, if you send a private link, you have your play. So it says at the top, Duboka, demos,
EP
and then it's got 100 plays already on it. That's gone to 100 people.
Why are they just not uploading separate, like...
exactly what you're saying. Like, you're getting an email saying, like, oh, I've been listening to your label, whatever, which is fine. It doesn't matter either way, whatever it is, but it says, I've made these tracks especially for you, blah, blah, blah. Like, can you listen? Take your time to listen. And you click on it, and like you say, it's got 150 views and 5 other people copied into the email. You just think...
That's not for us. That demo's not for us. That demo's just a demo.
Yeah.
And...
Which is fine either way. But
how often does that happen?
I'd say 1 out of 5.
Really?
Yeah, probably.
Is there any good standout sort of introductory emails that you've had from people that you sort of, maybe remember as a good one?
Just like
if you were to do it, what would
never
you...
going to know us personally. So you start it with Hi Duboka for one.
Yeah.
Or if you're not sending it to just us, then it's going to everyone.
Yeah.
Well, not everyone, but everyone in his email list. You know what I mean? You put Hi Duboka.
Yeah.
Background. Lovely background. We prefer SoundCloud private links just because you don't
want to be downloading loads of files.
We work day to day.
Yeah.
And if we're at work, we can listen. We can listen to tracks on SoundCloud private
within 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Whereas if they send you a Google Drive,
the WeTransfer.
We've got to then get that downloaded. You've then got to listen. I don't mean that's mega bad.
No, it isn't.
It's just
It's true.
It is the truth, yeah. SoundCloud private link's the one, yeah.
So if there's 10 in the inbox,
and one's a SoundCloud private link,
that SoundCloud one's getting listened straight away because
you do.
You can.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you probably you could be at the gym doing whatever, and you got your headphones in. And if it's a Mixcloud or if it's anything that's like their stream, boom. But you don't want to be down at a 2.5 gigabyte WAV. No, but on the off chance.
Zipped as well, you see how to unzip it.
Yeah, I do know zipping.
Oh my God.
No, I'm joking. You know what I mean? But that's honestly like easy, just click on it and...
Yeah, I think, to be honest, I'll be honest, like I did sales / account management for 5 to 6 years. And I think like you take away 2 lessons out of it, which is think about the customer and think about their day-to-day life and how you can make it as easy as possible for them to be able to do what they need to do.
Yeah.
Not create extra hurdles. Because to be honest, it is a little bit like sales because you're competing against like, maybe 100 other people that have like emailed in and trying to get your attention. If you're making it difficult for that person to assess your track, straight away you're out the door. Like, they're not going to bother. They're just not going to click on it. So first of all, make it easy. And second of all, there's always this kind of theory of be a red cross in a sea of black crosses. Try and do something, which is what I was kind of asking you guys in the email. Has anyone done something that, kind of make it stood out? Like when we used to do some cold emails, for example, you always have to kind of put some spin on it. I can't remember what there was one that had like that had the subject something with like baby panda or something. And then we'd start the email and, there'd be a salutations, blah, 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 George or whatever, body of the email, the problems that we solve. And then PS, here you go, baby panda, like a picture. And you know what I mean? Those kind of things is stuff that makes it kind of stand out a little bit. Like, get to the point of what it is you're trying to do. Obviously, it's my track. This is who I am. But then you're adding a little bit of that sense of humor on it as well to like stand out in front of like 100 other people who are all sending on top of putting a private SoundCloud link, for example, so you guys can go on and access it. Okay, so easy to access, first of all. Just be a normal human being when you're writing an email or add a little bit of humor if you can, right, on top of it. Yeah. Is there anything else that you look for? Well,
like the other day we had with an artist, she was over in Amsterdam and she didn't even send us a mix, but how it was worded, but then just attached 3 other examples of previous mixes because they were just easily there and just how it was worded.
That she's made
for... like previous ones, these are 3 of my sound, like if you're interested, I'll do a mix for you straight away.
Yeah.
But even though there's no mix, just it was there. One was from like Bloop and it went to like a video, like a live stream and that. And just because it was like easy access and you just listen to it straight away, it was quick. You're just like, yeah, okay. And like... You know it's going to be good, like because there's like reference to other things. It's not like you don't have to necessarily particularly do a mix to initially be invited to do the podcast. Like that example was one because the other 3 were absolutely class and the sound was great, and then just straight away like it's like exactly what you're saying, just easy and to the point, but there's not that whole I've done this particularly for you and copy in about 1,000 people and send a massive file attachment.
I
and
still
all
can't
that.
believe people don't just like BCC people. Like,
Be personal.
I know. Yeah.
this is
personal.
key. Yeah,
Be
key.
personal.
Key.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Or like, don't say, "Oh, I've been following Duboka for 3 years," and then you click and then they don't follow you on anything. You're like, "No, you haven't." Don't tell lies.
Love the events.
Yeah.
Go for the ticket history.
Love the events from Hawaii.
Yeah, no, you never do that.
No, but just it's
Yeah.
it means a lot when it is personal.
No,
Not
that's
personal
what
as
it
such.
comes to in the end, yeah.
It's never going to be personal to either of us, but to the brand.
Yeah, it shows that you actually care, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what about, okay, so from if they want to release on label, obviously like it kind of goes without saying good quality music, that's...
Production's a big thing, isn't it? And quality of production.
Yeah, of course.
And we'll listen to it and
I mean, you're joining the names of like Briz and Mihai Paul on the label and Liz, it has to be at a certain level to be able to get there. Although, I'm sure in terms of helping promote, Briz is, very good at what he does. Not everyone's going to be quite at that level. Yeah, you know what I mean?
No.
But what about the parties then? With the parties then, if people want to play for the Duboka parties, like what is it they have to do, in your opinion, to sort of catch your attention and potentially be in with the chance of maybe playing your party? Because I know there'll be a lot of young DJs that might, watch this podcast. And I had that same question a long time ago of like, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. Like, I love the sound. I love what they're about, but I don't know how to put myself forward to be able to try and play for these guys.
I think making an effort towards us is a big thing. I know that don't mean it in a bad way.
Yeah.
But like, if, you drop in podcasts and you've dropped an EP into us, that's a big thing to us.
Yeah.
Because you're showing your effort towards the brand.
Yeah.
So then at that point, the production's good.
Yeah.
And the podcast's good, then it's likely to say that, come and play for us, you know. And that we've tried to keep people that have been on the label before playing at the events,
We've had slots, haven't we? Like we booked like Kyle and Sam. Yeah, I remember we had those guys from Manchester. Like we met them up in
Mioritmic, on the plane, cracking lads from
Manchester.
Manchester.
Sound and there's. It was like back and forth of like podcasts and stuff like that, and then we've had them down a few times, haven't we?
And they're come and played for us a couple of times, and now they play under me.
Oh yeah,
they play for Paul K.
Yeah,
they're going to Bucharest and playing some nice clubs for some real, because they play real dark music, and that is what that suits.
That's what they like,
and they are Sam Rag and Carl, man, real.
Yeah,
top lads.
So it's more of a case. So it's like it's the same as like anyone that books an event. Does an event. You book your friends and family, so to speak. So friends and family in terms of coming to your event and coming like spending time there and enjoying it, and then like being on the podcast, and then you end up being friends with them and you go to their events. It's like a community thing, isn't it? Rather than just like.
Had a few clubs as well. You don't just pushed the lineups. Either way.
And even with the clubs, it's not like you don't want it to be like a business transaction. Do you want it to be like a community thing? If that makes sense.
Go for a meal before. Have that whole
like. And you want
family.
to stay in touch. You don't want to just be like, do you want to come down here? Oh, there you go, and then go. Whenever we've had a interaction with any artist where it's been more transactional. Like it just makes it really it just makes it very. I don't like it. I never enjoy it.
Same.
I want to like chat to you and cause
get to know the person. And,
it's not like in and out. There's your money and go. Like I hate that. Because that's not what we've wanted to do events for. Yeah.
But that comes down with making sure that you book the right artist to bring enough people to then basically run it as a business, so then you're not making a loss, and then it's just this sort of like.
Yeah.
Do you get a lot of people that come down to the parties and introduce themselves to you guys that say like, this is who I am, this is what I'm about, I'd love the opportunity to maybe, try and play for your parties in the future? Or like if someone was going to do that and they're going to come down to the party, what would be the best approach for them to take with you guys?
I'd say that sounds perfect.
Just come down. Just come down and introduce yourself.
I've never had that very regularly, but if someone was to do that, it's just come in like, and like get a ticket and come in and be like, you're right, and you, Elliot, whatever, and then have a chat with that sounds great to me. Yeah.
This is what I find so interesting, because the reason I've asked that question, I've talked to a couple of other promoters who have basically said, like, in today's day and age, people tend not to do that as much anymore. They just like Instagram it and then send the links on Instagram and whatever. It's just like, how much more powerful is it to go down to the party? First of all, you're supporting the party, but second of all, like, you're face to face. People get to know you for who you are and feel your energy, and you get that personal touch. And I can't believe people don't do that more.
Yeah.
I really can't.
It's rare that's ever happened to me, but we have messages asking to play.
On Instagram all
that's
the
it,
time.
Yeah, that's it. Well, we're mega approachable.
And you'd say,
we are mega approachable people.
100%.
So you'd say, come down to the party, whatever, and then
don't know about Mark.
And then you'd never see him.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's like, it's fine. You don't have to come, but it just sort of.
No.
It's massive if you want to play for that party.
If you just come and be like, your eyes are going, and then have a chat or whatever, then that's it, innit?
Sit around, enjoy it, have a good time. Yeah. You know, ultimately, if you enjoy that type of music, that's kind of what you're there for.
It makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Like,
yeah.
Can't believe it doesn't happen more often.
No.
Future plans. What are the future plans for Duboka? What's happening going forward for both, I guess, the parties and the label? Do you want to start with the parties first?
No, start with the labels.
Yeah,
start with the label. Start with the label first, yeah. Blanc is going on to a number 2.
Gotcha.
Which we've done a bit of work in the background recently.
Yeah.
So we've
Blanc is going to be...
Blanc's our sub-label.
Yep. Sub-label, which is dropped lovely. Yep. And we've tried to keep it very, like, different to what we kind of do at the moment. So, like, our actual vinyl releases at the start, Briz, we had... the EP was called Digbeth, and the picture on the EP was... the viaducts of Digbeth.
Yeah.
And then Liz, the picture was of some architecture in Cluj, where it's from. So we kind of kept it like that, but doing like the marble wax and just it was quite expensive for us. So we've switched it up. We've
like
gone
everything else.
Switched it up, gone to a sub-label. Mel Paul's dropped us 3 mega tracks there.
Yeah. Bombs.
and that's pushed us to move forward with the Blanc at the moment.
Gotcha.
So we're now going to the second. I don't know if we can share the...
Yeah.
If you want.
Yeah, with the art and everything, with the Blanc.
I'll hold it up whilst we're talking about it, guys. I feel like, And
with the art and everything, because we called it Blanc because we wanted it to be less vibrant to look at, however. We just wanted it to be a vinyl in a sleeve, what it is. There's no identification on the inside. There's the print on it, but there's no A and B on the inside. It's just that, very basic. And the whole theme moving forward is just going to be probably black and white. There's your vinyl. There's the sleeve. There's the music. Rather than like we were trying to do like creating pieces of art before, which is great, which we will continue to do with that sound. But with this sound, with the Blanc, we wanted to push a more like a different sound where we can invite different artists. Like some of the more Dutch sound and that sort of thing, where
a little bit groovier.
Where our main sound is like stripped back where it is. This is giving us that. This
is definitely I would say groovier for sure.
And that's what we wanted to do: push more grooves and because then you've got 2 channels.
Is the Duboka sort of like raw minimal sound, but it's definitely got a little bit more groove, which is probably why this is one of my favorite releases because I'm very tied into that. Generally speaking, I come from that Dutch more minimal tech groovy side. And it kind of meets in the middle for me very nicely.
Yeah. So the answer you want there for O2 is going to be Silat Bexy. So we've managed to get a 3-track EP with Silat Bexy. Yeah, and we're potentially working on
it.
So we got confirmation of that.
He's a great producer, man.
Oh, he's wicked, yeah.
Wicked producer. He was at a party not long ago, wasn't he?
Yeah. So we had it all confirmed with all the manufacturers, didn't we, like a couple of days ago. They're happy with it. Obviously, he's happy with everything. So we're going to, hopefully he's happy with saying this. So we're proceeding with that. So that's our next one on the lineup. And there's a potential of a remix on that track as well with an artist that we like. He works with Silat quite a bit. So hopefully that comes through as well on the 4th track, which would be the B2 side of it.
Gotcha. Yeah. And do you know roughly like when this is going to happen or?
I'd say give it 2 to 3 months.
2 to 3 months.
2 to 3 months, yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got to do a bit of artwork now. And
it'd be nice to do them quarterly, wouldn't it? That's the sort of thing we wanted to do.
Gotcha.
Because that's dropped well. I don't know. Did we do... I think we had 330, 350
Yeah,
press.
I think it's 330-ish,
Yeah. Then we've got 29 left, so perfect. That's where you want to be with...
And there was no promo copies, was there? That's all. Yeah.
That's direct.
Nice. That's really good.
Yeah.
Really good. Really good.
Yeah.
How did the idea stem, I guess, of the label? Was it just because you wanted to be able to bring in a little bit more groove to the sound?
For the sub-label?
Yeah.
It was sort of... like we're having these conversations that we're having with yourself saying like, oh, you know, you're trying to bring a crowd and you almost sometimes pigeon yourself too harshly into a sound where we still want to do events and stuff.
Yeah.
So like exploring, like the perfect one is like, you know, like Fuse had Infuse.
Yes.
Like that sort of idea. So the different sounds, you know, but they do merge across each other. If you like Fuse, you probably like Infuse. That's the sort of, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So like, we want like something a bit more maybe vocally or bouncier or higher BPM or groovy or whatever. It gives you that different avenue to go down to explore as well. So you can do a bit of both because... Yeah. And a different identity as well. Like it brings that's something, the sort of thing we haven't really done before. Like that sort of like stripped back. Usually it's quite vibrant, isn't it?
And we've gone digital with it as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So that got released on vinyl. Month later, we then released it on digital platforms.
Nice.
Just see it that different broadcast.
Which we've never done before on vinyl, have we?
Yeah, because we've always been vinyl only.
Yeah.
And then digital series has been separate.
Yeah.
But this is going to be a platform where we bring the vinyl with the digital.
At the same time.
Because you can't fight the people that are putting it on Telegram for too long. Never. If you can't beat them, join them, man.
No, I don't think you can, unfortunately.
Like we released it and 3 days later someone's put they've got the Mi iPod
Masters.
right now Masters here, and I reply back to it in the Telegram group. I'll reply back to it. I feel bad now actually saying that I'm in the Telegram group. Can you
kicked?
Someone Can you please delete that message?
Someone I know in the Telegram group said I said they're not the Masters. Well, it is, and I was like, they're not, because I'm the only person with the Masters and all this sort of stuff. But who are you? And I was like, I'm the bloody one we were the one that posted it, we're the one that manufactured it, and everyone's like, I'm still in the Telegram group. So stupid. But it wasn't the Masters.
We just learned to get on with that now.
Yeah, it's just, you can't beat it. Someone's going to get it, put it on the software, rip it, make it into like a WAV, and just
send it out.
Boom, gone, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's like you're relying on people that like to have the product and enjoy the sleeve and the record and all that.
Yeah, because you're never going to be able to fight that.
Which now,
it's crazy though.
If people are doing that now, you know, we're happy with the sales.
Yeah.
And
just let people enjoy it.
It's digitally released anyway.
Yeah.
And it's good for, you know, promoting the track as well, and
for sure,
getting it.
Sure.
I can remember me playing it at the spring edition of Some Waves.
He played it at Some Waves.
Fantastic,
yeah. Some Waves on right now, no?
Yeah.
Almeria.
I did want to go, but
I know, yeah.
Next year. Well, they've gone to Spain now, though, so that should be interesting.
More brain cells.
It does take me about...
It takes about 4 weeks to go over it.
Mate, at least 2. After you finish at Some Waves, at least 2 to start functioning like a normal human being again. Yeah. We've talked a little bit about the future plans for the label. Do you have any future plans for parties moving forward?
Yeah, so we discussed earlier that Birmingham's a bit like dead or dry, isn't it, at the moment?
It's not working. It's not working in the music that we push out. Yeah,
and we've gave it multiple attempts.
And different venues, rooftops. You know, we've tried a lot. We've tried open air.
Yeah, and
it's a different type of crowd, to be honest. It's a completely different type of crowd. I think what you have to look at is, you know, you look at the events that really sell. Like, for example, like a Porto event is sold out like in advance. So you kind of know that is the type of crowd that is in Birmingham, you know, sort of like a tech house crowd. There's nothing wrong or right with it. It's just
no, of course not.
It's just what it is.
Nothing negative about it.
No, for sure. And you just kind of have to go with what's in front of you, the demographic that's in front of you.
Yeah.
So you're basically saying for the time being, kind of parties will
in the UK. And then we were saying,
okay,
because
conquests.
Okay,
next year, from next year, not this year, we want to look at doing a bit of a European collaboration tour idea.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of people in mind. I know there's some promoters that I've spoke to and met before over in Europe, they're wanting to do something. We've like joined a few people wanting to talk to. It'd be nice to do something maybe quarterly, where like maybe do one in Italy, one in Spain, one in Stockholm, one wherever, and we've got a few ideas and just go down that route to push the brand. But we wanted to work. We had a chat on it, where it's not all about booking headliners. Just find some people that are doing good with 200 cap venues.
Yeah.
With residents, and it's just us guys that go.
Yeah.
It's just us and them. 200 cap, nothing wild, nothing crazy. Good sound system, and just do a little tour around Europe, doing Spain, Italy, France, wherever, Germany, Berlin.
That'd be great.
Keep the band alive, take some records, exchange some records,
make some friends.
It's just. It's a hobby and it's like, social,
keep
man.
It, go back to that community feeling, rather than being like, oh, should we collaborate in like this warehouse and spend 7, 8, 9, 10,000 euros and stress? Just go and meet the lads over there, wherever they are, and have an event.
Is it going to rain?
Play some records.
Is it going to rain? We've got an open air event. Is it going to rain?
Yeah.
90% chance. You know,
in the UK,
2 minutes for everyone. That'll be another 10.
Yeah.
It'll be another 10 grand. You know, it's
just sort of move away from that and go and meet some new people and do some little events, but they're just core sound with other people that are like-minded, and not focus so much on booking like massive headliners, and just us go and just enjoy it. Just try that for a bit, because we still want to do it. It's a shame that it goes quiet, but it's just how it's panned out. But next year I think we'll be doing that.
So you're planning on starting that from next year, basically?
It'd be nice to, This year, probably not. So we've been getting the talks of it this year, and maybe
I mean, we're already what, September? I forgot even 1 month for it. We are September, we are September.
Yeah, we are.
It's nearly done. It's nearly finished.
That'd be nice, especially if there's a couple of ideas we got, and just start approaching people this year, and then you can get them. And there's some, we're on good terms with a few booking agents, aren't we? We speak to Origo.
Italy, lovely.
Quite a lot. You went to that brick event, didn't you?
Birch, Birch, Simone was good, really nice. Just
be nice to work with people like that just
middle of Turin. Just in the middle of nice sound system, great people.
And to be fair, a lot of the time the resident DJs will tend to bring quite a lot of the local people, because that's just how it works.
Just focus on that sort of community collaboration of like two groups of sort of like-minded things together, rather than just like going for massive headliners and fingers crossed sort of thing. Just move away.
It'll be quite interesting to see how it pans out in different countries as well.
100%. But at least you get to go to an holiday.
Basically.
We had a good time at Contrast in Bucharest.
Everybody did it.
Because you did one in Romania as well, didn't you?
We had a really nice time.
What's the club called again? It's not Nook, is it? No, it's not.
No, it's not Nook.
Looks like that. From what I know, Nook's like the top one at the moment.
Yeah, it's not. Wasn't it?
Tech You?
I forgot what it's called.
Not Tech You.
What's it called?
To be fair, I don't
cut that out.
No, it's all right.
Yeah, it was in Bucharest.
It was a nice club as well.
Yeah, Barak plays there quite a bit. Didn't they? We had Olga Kroll. It was good.
Yeah, it was good.
To be honest, you'd think I'd know the Birmingham.
Spashia Technic.
Spashia Technic, he's got it.
Yeah. But
probably not how you pronounce it either.
To be fair, you've been doing very well. You got the Bush 10 very well.
Where's Special Technique? You see some Special.
When you got the Bush 10 right, I was like, we'll let him off for any other mispronunciation, because that's a pretty hard one to get.
Thank you.
But
Multi-mess.
Guys, I'll be honest. Hey, there you go. You can tell you've been to Mioritmic once or twice. But guys, it's honestly been an absolute pleasure to have you on. It sounds like you guys have very exciting plans ahead. Over the next year is definitely going to be something that will be moving forward for you. And to be honest, I can't wait to see how it rolls out. And obviously in the background, I'll also be part of the journey, just watching, seeing how things develop. And I'm actually really interested to see what country is going to receive the kind of like minimal. So obviously Romania's Romania, and I was born there. But to see how the parties will go from country to country, and hopefully, who knows, maybe join one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
And still do that podcast for us.
And the podcast too. I will. In between all the other things, but I will. I want to take my time with it.
That's fine, The invite is there.
But yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Cheers. Thanks for having us.
It's
Cheers, Alex.
A small space in here, but appreciate it.
Thank you.